In today's fight news, we start off with lightweight champion Islam Makhachev, confident ahead of his upcoming UFC 302 title defense against Dustin Poirier. The gold gloves are exclusive to championship matches, and this will be the first time they're used in a title fight. Makhachev says he's gonna have his framed after he beats Poirier. Khabib Nurmagomedov, the head coach of the champion Makhachev, says his team has nothing but respect for Poirier, but on the night of the fight, he's the enemy, and they have a great game plan set up, in which they plan to finish him in the second or third round. Former Makhachev opponent and top 5 ranked lightweight Arman Tsarukyan tells the New York Post that he thinks Poirier is actually going to knock out the champion. Islam mockingly replied to these comments while speaking with Sport24, saying, Arman also said that he would finish Oliveira in the first round and won by split decision. The former champ Daniel Cormier says he's not a fan of the retirement talks coming from Dustin Poirier ahead of his title shot at UFC 302. Recently, welterweight standout Joaquin Buckley made some waves in the MMA world when he said that he would beat GSP if they both fought at the age of 30 by knockout. His former opponent, Kevin Holland, replied to these comments saying, "Dude can't beat me. How the F is he gonna beat GSP?" Buckley also received some backlash from longtime UFC veteran Cub Swanson. The two fighters went back and forth at length on their X accounts. It looks like UFC media personality Nina Drama just roasted Dylan Dennis on her X account. Recently, while on an episode of the Pound for Pound podcast, former welterweight kingpin Kamaru Usman says that when he faced off with former light heavyweight champion Jan Blachowicz, he felt that he favored well in that matchup against him. Well, Blachowicz responded to these comments on his X account stating, "If you still feel the same way about it, Usman, let's go. I will be ready." Top 10 bantamweight standout Song Yadong recently called for a matchup with former champ Henry Cejudo. Cejudo responded to this call out, saying that he'll deal with him after he gets a matchup with Peter Yan, in which Yan responded, "CCP versus CCC. The Triple Clown returned to the land of his forgotten past achievements. Book it." UFC women's pioneer Ronda Rousey says that she has been vilified by the MMA media, and this is a big reason why she won't return to even go see a UFC fight in person, because she's sure she will get booed in the arena. Former lightweight title contender Kevin Lee says that he hasn't been able to kick a heavy bag in 3 years, and now he's starting to recover and getting back to his full speed and power. Lee stated, "In a month I'll be ready to start fighting the best lightweights again." In the recent Misfits boxing event, Elle Brooke and Paige Van Zandt fought to a draw. In the highly anticipated rematch between Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall, Catterall wins a unanimous decision against Taylor, evening the scorecard 1 apiece. After the fight was called in the favor of Catterall, Hall of Fame boxing promoter Bob Arum took to the mic to call out the British boxing board, stating, "Those scorecards were a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. I really feel sorry for Josh. I thought he won the fight. Those scorecards were ridiculous. I will never, ever allow an American fighter to come here with the British board scoring the fight. Those scores were ridiculous." Boxing legend Tony Bellew also agrees with Arum's claims, saying that although Catterall was clearly robbed in their first matchup, that does not give the judges the right to try to make amends by cheating Taylor this time around. WBO super welterweight champion Sebastian Fundora is likely going to be stripped of his title by the WBO or vacated if he moves forward with his matchup with Errol Spence instead of fighting his mandatory challenger Terence Crawford. The vacant WBO belt would actually be added to the Crawford vs. Madrimov fight on August 3rd, while Spence vs. Fundora would be for Fundora's WBC strap.
Newly crowned unified heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk posted a picture of himself and a teammate, Stanislav Stepchuk. Stepchuk was the victim of John Fury's headbutt at the press conference leading up to their unification bout. The photo seems like a slight jab towards Team Fury as Usyk took the WBC title from Fury. And lastly, UFC Hall of Famer Uriah Faber submits Jeff Glover in a combat jiu-jitsu main event on the UFC Fight Pass. After his win, Faber took to the microphone to give props to Eddie Bravo and said he'd like a meeting of the minds to figure out how to improve the sport. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the content, like and subscribe.